Why does it all come to a head now? Why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
The acceptable monster.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, we see the lineup.
No, this part is not alleged. Jay-Z and his team, they have been ducking and dodging, taking the D.
A global superstar's empire doesn't just rise on talent, it rises on narrative. And when that narrative starts to crack, everything shakes. What was once dismissed as tabloid chaos, the strange pregnancy speculation, the infamous elevator incident, the constant whispers about carefully managed optics, is suddenly being re-examined under a harsher light. For years, critics were brushed off as conspiracy theorists. Daytime television personalities like Wendy Williams questioned the image, hinting that not everything was as flawless as it seemed. At the time, those comments sounded like noise. Now, some fans argue they feel different, less like gossip, more like early warnings of a machine built to control perception. The lawsuits, the resurfaced footage, the insiders who once defended the brand but now choose silence. In Hollywood, silence is rarely accidental. It's strategic. Online forums dissect every old interview. Body language experts revisit red carpets. Financial settlements, unrelated on paper, fuel speculation in digital spaces. None of it proven.
But there are people who have been indicted in the public space, and it hasn't been true. And so I think Jay-Z's tone was exactly. But see, I saw Puffy say the same, and then a video came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of it fully dismissed. Just fragments, circulating faster than official statements can contain them. Then there's the bigger question, not about guilt or innocence, but about power. When $2 billion icons stand at the center of controversy, the battle isn't fought in public opinion alone. It's fought in courtrooms, contracts, NDAs, and reputation management firms. Defamation filings become shields. Publicists become generals. Time becomes currency. And the real tension isn't whether rumors exist. Rumors always exist. The tension is about control. Who controls the footage? Who controls the story? Who decides what trends and what disappears? Because in the entertainment industry, downfall rarely begins with a scandal. It begins with a leak, a whisper, a question that refuses to die. And when the machine that once protected you starts hesitating, the world watches, not for confirmation, but for cracks. The reported multi-million-dollar fallout wasn't just about one lawsuit. It was about containment. When an allegation suddenly surfaced against Jay-Z, the legal response was immediate and forceful. Public denials came fast. Court filings followed even faster. But observers weren't focused only on the claim itself. They were watching the strategy, because in celebrity crises, timing is everything. The story shifted in the public arena. Statements, recordings, reversals. Each twist fueling online debate. Supporters called it proof the accusation lacked credibility. Critics questioned why the response escalated into an aggressive defamation battle, rather than a quieter dismissal. In high-profile disputes, perception can...
Let me know. And that's the problem that I have with this whole situation. But I am going to save this conversation for Jay-Z. Jay-Z, you're watching. I know you're watching because you got people calling me. Stop having people call me. You can call me yourself. You know how to get my number. You know you got people calling me. Call me yourself, because this right here is going to go viral. The way my job works on the internet, everybody's going to be clipping, sharing on TikTok. Watch this.
Matter as much as outcome. What caught attention wasn't just the allegation. It was the scale of the response. Defamation claims, legal counterstrikes, business losses reportedly stacking up in the background. To some analysts, it looked less like a routine dispute and more like a reputational firewall being built in real time. And when reputations are worth billions, silence isn't passive, it's tactical. Whispers inevitably expanded beyond one individual, pulling in a broader brand, the partnerships, the carefully constructed empire that includes Beyonce, not because of proven wrongdoing, but because in celebrity culture, alliances blur boundaries. When one name trends, connected names follow. The attorney involved, known for handling high-visibility cases, added another layer of intrigue. Some saw a routine legal clash. Others saw a test of how aggressively a power couple would defend their legacy. But here's the reality beneath the speculation. In industries built on image, legal battles are rarely just about courtrooms. They're about leverage, contracts, endorsements, market confidence. Even dismissed claims can ripple through boardrooms and brand deals. So the real question isn't what social media believes. It's how far powerful figures will go to protect a narrative once cracks appear, and whether aggressive defense signals vulnerability or simply strategy. Because in the world of influence, the loudest move isn't always guilt. Sometimes it's insurance. When an allegation involves someone who was reportedly 13 at the time of the claimed incident.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious.
Public expectation shifts immediately. People assume criminal charges would follow. In this case, none were filed. Instead, the dispute unfolded in civil filings and public statements, with Jay-Z's legal team forcefully denying the claims and framing the situation as an attempt to damage his reputation. From there, the narrative became less about the original accusation and more about contradictions. Recordings circulated. Sworn statements appeared to conflict. Commentators debated credibility on all sides. To supporters, the inconsistencies weakened the claim. To skeptics, the intensity of the legal counterattack felt unusually aggressive. And then came the broader speculation. Though not named in filings, Beyonce's presence hovered in commentary and online discussion, not as a defendant, not as an accused party, but as half of a global brand whose value depends on stability. Some insiders suggested that reputation management decisions were being coordinated at the highest level, something not unusual when two public figures share business interests, partnerships, and an empire built on image. In high-stakes celebrity disputes, legal moves are rarely isolated. They're strategic. Defamation suits can function as both shield and signal, a way to deter further claims while reassuring investors and partners. When millions in endorsements and long-term deals are potentially at risk, the response often comes as much about optics as outcome. Separate conversations.
But Diddy parties and Diddy After Dark are two different things. I want to go on record of saying I never saw Jay-Z at a Diddy After Dark party. Then again, I wasn't there, so I don't know who was there. But I know that I saw Jay-Z at the Diddy party.
Also resurface about industry history, about who was present in which rooms decades ago, and what proximity to powerful figures might have meant at the time. In entertainment, access has always been currency. Gatekeepers existed. Invitations mattered. Careers could pivot on who you knew and who knew you. But speculation about presence is not proof of participation. Being in the orbit of power does not equal complicity. Still, in the court of public opinion, nuance often collapses under the weight of timing and association. So the bigger question isn't about a single headline. It's about how celebrity ecosystems protect themselves when controversy strikes. Who coordinates the response? Who absorbs the reputational shock? And how much of what the public sees is defense versus damage control? Because in an industry built on proximity to influence, sometimes the loudest story isn't about what happened. It's about who survives the fallout. Then there's the party. Not just any gathering, but one that became the center of a lawsuit years later, tied to an event connected to Sean Combs' circle in 2015. The filing describes a chaotic scene, alleging misconduct and humiliation. It names high-profile figures as being present. Among the names circulating in online discussions, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and even LeBron James. None of them have been charged in connection to the claim. But in celebrity culture, presence alone can ignite a firestorm. According to the lawsuit, certain individuals were allegedly in proximity to what the accuser describes. The details are vivid. The implications heavy. Yet lawsuits are claims, not verdicts. Allegations, not conclusions. Still, once filed, they ripple. What fuels the speculation isn't only the description, it's the contradictions that followed. The property owner, Gloria Estefan, publicly denied that such an event took place at her residence during the time frame mentioned. A direct denial. Clear, unequivocal, but the filing insists otherwise. And when two narratives collide, a sworn complaint versus a categorical rejection, public curiosity intensifies if the location is disputed. People ask where the event actually occurred. If the guest list is questioned, they ask who was truly present. In high-profile circles, gaps in clarity become breeding ground for theory. Then there's the broader context. Separate federal investigations and civil suits involving figures in the music industry have already heightened scrutiny around private gatherings, archive footage, and who attended what. Rumors of recordings, sealed documents, and potential leaks circulate online,